It's not the hours you put in your work that count, but the work that you put in the hours. The Chairperson, Vice Chancellor KDU, distinguished guests, senior officers, cadets, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored and privileged to present from this seat of military learning. And I recall I used to come on this podium 22 years back as a service cadet. And I'm honored again as a wing commander I'm talking to you. And I look upon this institute, KDU. The requirement of human talent is growing faster than the number of people to fill the gap. This has become a real challenge in the job market. Getting the right people, training, developing, and retaining them in the job and getting more challenging. On the other hand, employees have got better options to move to new and attractive new jobs. So the human resource professionals have understood that they need to pay the right remuneration to attract and retain the employees. With the job getting more attractive and challenging, the employees are facing a new challenge of accomplishing the job-related goals while striking a balance in their personal life. The term work-life balance comes into play in this context. Work-life balance is a concept including proper prioritizing between work and lifestyle. The time you spend doing your job and the family. The harmonious arrangement between an individual's work obligations and the personal life. The appropriate arrangement of a role-time commitments that allows good functioning at work and at home with minimum role conflict. I elaborate minimum role conflict and maximum satisfaction. It's a fact that the life cannot be lived fully whilst meeting all the challenges of a job to the fullest. And there's no right or wrong answer for this. And it's a person-specific thing. It is up to the employee. It's up to the employee how you strike a balance between the family and the job front. The aim of this presentation is to make the audience aware of the insights brought about through the research on work-life balance of Sri Lankan military officers and discuss the findings and recommendations. I'll be following the sequence shown on the screen. As all of you know, three forces of this country were engaged in an internal conflict lasted for 30 years. Due to the political and military leadership, sheer commitment and bravery, this conflict came to an end. The families of military officers, without any doubt, may be expecting their beloved parents, spouses, and children to be with them for longer periods. At the same time, the job front may not have been relieved, as the peacetime role of the military is to train them and be prepared for any contingency. At the same time, the expectations of the government from the military have gone up and has entrusted a lot of development works to the military, looking at their past performances. Since the expectations from the military have not been reduced, the expected relief from the job front of the military personnel has not been a possibility. With that backdrop, the researcher intended to to explore the work-life balance of Sri Lankan military officers, an area which has not been explored as per the literature available. The work-life balance of the Western world is different from that of Eastern world. The work-life balance of military is totally a different paradigm. During the war, the work-life balance of the military personnel was a challenge for them, where most of them were not able to get over it due to the subordinate goals they had to achieve. Now that the war is over and the country is returning to normalcy, there's much awareness and interest to build up family link with the military personnel lost during the period of 3 decades old war. The work-life balance could be examined from 4 angles. They are: context. Such a study would address a knowledge gap in the arena of military management, as no research has been conducted into this area. At the same time, it would invite other researchers to explore many other areas based on this study. In this study, the researcher intended to explore into the work-life balance of Sri Lankan military officers during the post-war period. So the hypothesis was a causal relationship between work-life balance and employee engagement exists such that higher level of perceived work-life balance would result in higher levels of employee engagement. I conceptualized the problem based on the 4 factors mentioned 2-3 slides back, and it was like this. The self consists of learning and social affiliations, family, time with spouse, time with children, time with other family affairs. Work, the office work, extra activities related to the office work. Society, we have to support the society and we need social affiliations. I prepared a framework for the military officers using the 4 pillars of work-life balance, and that is shown on the slide. Now I move on to the findings of this study. This chart presents the level of work-life balance based on the questionnaires administered to the officers. And this is the 75% work-life balance line. And very alarmingly, only 25% of the officers could beat this line. Moving on to further findings. Work-life balance of officers more than 40 years. They enjoyed a work-life balance of 55 to 78, while the officers less than 40 years enjoyed a work-life balance of 45 to 90. But as a general observation, military officers have problems in managing work-life balance. 66 of them and 75 of their spouses accept this fact. But 92 of the officers think that we are balanced, while the actual results contradict the answers. 75% of the officers are experiencing problems in work-life balance as per the responses given to the questionnaires and the interview. And 69% of them accept that they are working beyond the office hours to complete their work. 60% is satisfied with the number of hours that they work. And this is important. Most of the spouses have accepted their husbands are not enjoying a better work-life balance. So effects of negative attitude of managers, colleagues, team members showed 75%, rather 65% negativity. Then 75% agreed that there's a positive effect of the technology, maybe Blackberries, iPads, whatever, ability to bring children and office and the ubiquity. But I must say, these results alone are not strong enough to establish that the fact that the officers are having a better work-life balance or not having a better work-life balance. Based on these recommendations, based on these findings, it is recommended to continue the support extended to the families by the military forces at the first place, to train the officers to indulge in office work in a novel approach and train how to identify the vital few versus trivial many, to conduct a comprehensive research in this area to find out what are the underlying facts for this imbalance in work life and to find out a real way out. To encourage to have better bondages with their extended families. As you all know, it is better if the services can arrange some programs to enhance such bondages and probably to extend the medical and dental facilities to the extended families living with the officers. To implement a program for the officers to avail their balanced leave on a roster basis like the private sector practices. To enhance the team culture throughout the three forces and to have the same cohesion, the war-fighting cohesion we had and the fighting capability during a future threat. To implement training programs on positive thinking and motivation to enhance the effects of positivity. To educate and encourage officers to use high technology in their office work so that they can be more efficient and effective while enjoying the power of ubiquity. With that, I have come to end of my presentation, and I'm thankful to the Vice Chancellor and the panel who picked up my paper, and at last, not at least, the people who witnessed my presentation. Without you, it would have been a success. Thank you.